More than 200 schools have been damaged by gale-force winds which swept through KwaZulu-Natal this week. Authorities say teaching and learning's come to a complete standstill at 14 of the affected schools. The provincial government's appealed to the private sector to assist in rebuilding some of those schools. SABC News reporter Mlondi Radebe has more.
We're at Tandulwazi Primary School in KwaMashu. The school suffered a secondary damage this week when the heavy winds basically blew off some of the roofs. But we'll speak to the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Babu Tamintuli, who will briefly update us in relation to these damages in the schools across the province. Premier, thank you very much for your time. Briefly about the school. We understand that this school suffered a damage in 2022. Why the school was not fixed until now?
Well, I must say first and foremost, it was a coincidence that I had to receive the report by COGTA on the disaster that took place in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, wherein I saw that 208 schools have been affected, with 14 severely affected to an extent that even normal teaching and learning has been affected. So I chose to visit some of the schools so that I have the first-hand information. And fortunately for this school, we are here in this classroom, wherein with the report is that since 2022, the classroom has not been fixed, or the power block has not been fixed. I understand that the Department of Education has a problem, as we all have a problem as government of KwaZulu-Natal, of the financial limitations due to the previous financial budget cuts of losing almost 60 billion rand. But what we will be following up as government then is whether for this particular situation which I've just seen here on an unannounced visit to the school, there is no one who did not do what was supposed to do. If we find that someone was supposed to do something timeously and did not, there will be consequence management. But when if this school is forming part of the list of the schools that are being fixed, and in terms of the priority, in terms of the available financial resources, they couldn't get that kind of attention, then we'll find a way. Already we've spoken with the HOD, Mr. Ngoba, because he's here, that they are going to fix this school, they are going to fix this classroom, and we need to also have a plan to fix other schools that were affected. Hence, one is calling upon the social partners, private sector, that as soon as we get the qualified information, they come on board and support us as government to fix the schools, so that learning and teaching will take place under normal and infrastructural environment.
Premier, there's another crisis in the province of KwaZulu-Natal that goes that some of the schools are not writing exams because of the norms and standards that were not paid. Why the province of KwaZulu-Natal is basically suffering for that? And are you worried as the Premier that some of the schools are not writing exams?
Well, I'm worried for those schools that are not writing exams. We are investigating that, because the MEC for Education informed me that there was no instruction from the Department for schools not to write examinations. But the fact is that some have been not receiving the norms and standards since last year, some since this year. But fortunately for this one, they've been receiving, because in the beginning of the year they had a portion for LTSM, as I'm told by the principal, Mr. Ngongo, and also they've just received another one. But we have agreed with the MEC for Finance that we rob Peter to pay Paul, so that we rescue the Department of Education. Department of Education, Department of Health, and Department of Social Development, they are the apex priority, they are frontline departments. Hence, it's important then that as a cabinet, we take a posture to sit down and look at the reports that they are providing us in terms of the support that they require, and we do something to save somewhere and then afford those financial resources. Hence, for the norms and standards, we are saying in a period of 2 weeks, we want all schools to have received all what is owed to schools, and going forward, pay timeously the norms and standards. We will be supporting the department by robbing Peter and pay Paul, using that approach, where in some of the departments we'll have to say this program maybe can take place later, but let us ensure that we normalize learning and teaching.
Premier, the last one from me is that was it a good idea to come to KwaMashu when we know very well that the hardest heart of the province is in the South Coast, where over 50% of the number that you gave us is from that district?
Well, we'll be going to other areas. It's not that we're only here. As I speak, not only myself, not only the Office of the Premier, even KwaZulu-Natal, even local municipalities, I mean the local government, were all over. Like in Impenge, more than 100 houses were affected by the strong wind, and we will be also having some officials going there, some of the MSCs going to different areas of KwaZulu-Natal. We will be also going even to other areas because I want to have the first-hand information, but what is more important is the plan. I'm happy that the Department of Education has produced a plan that speaks to collecting information, analyzing the information, and then by the end of June, knowing how much is required, then we'll begin then to engage as to where are we going to get that money.
Premier, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal, Babu Taminduli, briefing us in relation to the situation in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, that over 208 schools have been badly affected, of which 14 schools halted teaching and learning in this province. And the disaster management teams are continuing with the assessment in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.